Is this going to be your first Halloween with your dog? Well, I'm here to share some Halloween safety tips to make sure, your dog is doesn't get into stuff or gets kind of worried or scared and runs off. So, who am I? My name is Linda Kwan, and I am the owner and trainer at Wow Bow Wow. I specialize in working with pup parents, with young dogs as well as rescue dogs. And what I do is help the pup parents understand their dog so they can raise and train a well mannered and well adjusted dog. So, here are my two tips that I wanted to share with you. And actually, I have a third one too. So, the first one is about keeping your dog safe during this particular night. So, if your dog has never, gone through a Halloween before, or even if they have, it's going to be a night where there's going to be a lot of commotion outside. People laughing, a lot of people walking around, and if you have kids, right, and your kid bring home their candy, we want to keep your dog safe from the candy that they bring home. So, tip number one, in regards to keeping them safe, make sure your dog is not in the area where you will be opening the door to hand out candy. Now, the best way to do that is most likely maybe keeping them in a separate room or making sure you have one of those baby gates in the front, like a doorway area or at least a foyer, right? Does that make sense? So that they can't accidentally get between your legs and run out. Because, throughout the night, there may be some noises that they're like not used to or that really worries them. And the second they see you open the door, they may try to escape, just trying to get away from whatever that noise that they're hearing. So, tip number one, keeping them safe by making sure you have at least a baby gate in the doorway or the hallway where you'll be handing out candy so your dog can't get through your legs and run out the door. Or by keeping them in a separate room where they can like relax and hang out with your other family members or with their like favorite chew toy, right? So tip number two, remember I mentioned that candy. If you have kids and your kids bring home their candy, well, even if you don't have kids, right? Making sure that you have the candy out of reach from your dog. Now, you know, um, I don't know about you, but I have candy in my house all year round. And my dogs don't get into it. But, the day of, most likely you'll have the candy like in a bowl or a container near the front door area. And it may be at the level where your dog can get to it. So make sure you don't leave it where they can get to it, right? You know, Not just the chocolate, but, some of the sweeteners can be dangerous for your dog. And, it's best to just prevent, right? Prevent instead of having to make them throw up, or worse, take them to the vet or emergency room. So, making sure the candy is out of reach, the candy that you're giving out, and if you have kids, making sure when they come home with their loot that the candy is in a safe place, out of reach from your dogs. Now, the third tip I wanted to also mention here is, if you don't normally put on a jacket or sweater or something of that sort around your dog, or even, sometimes some people have like something around their neck besides the collar. If your dog's not used to that, well, don't expect them to be comfortable wearing a Halloween costume. And for some dogs, my dogs are okay with the, wearing something, but hey, Jill, you're fine. Aha, good girl. Something out there, huh? Something out there? Very good girl. So she was doing a little huff huff, letting me know someone's out there. But she, looked back at me and came over to me when I called her name. So no barking. So my dogs are okay with jackets because in the wintertime I do put on a jacket on them. But they're not too fond of like things on their head or on their, like some people put goggles and things like that or glasses on their dogs. If they're not used to it, don't try to force it on your dog during that day, the Halloween day. So anyway, so those are my 3 tips. And I hope you and your dog have a wonderful and safe holiday. Thank you for joining me for Training Tip Tuesday, and see you next Tuesday.